a Swedish film where three men hunt some very dangerous game. Let's talk about Hunters on a White Field. Hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watch Our Pass. I'm here to talk to you about Hunters on a White Field, which premiered on June 6, 2024 at the Tribeca International Film Festival. It is a Swedish film from director Sarah Gyllenstierna where three men go hunting and hunt some very dangerous game. My hot take is I think you should watch it later. There was a lot I liked about this film. It was gorgeous. Like the setting is beautiful. It has some really amazing nature views, it has some really great effects. And it does have some like fun camaraderie between the characters, but it has kind of a very slow pace, and for a thriller, it's actually not that tense. So overall, I think you should watch it eventually. Just maybe wait for it to come to streaming or on demand. So all that being said, I'm going to tell you a little about the film, a few things I liked, a few things I didn't like, and then really quickly go into the ending. So as you can imagine, there will be spoilers in the ending section. If you don't know what happens in this movie, and you might not, there are some big surprises along the way. I would turn it off when I get there. Before that, though, I'll keep it vague. I'll keep it spoiler-free, unless you want to get to the spoilers. So Hunters on a White Field tells the story of three men, Alex, Gregor, and Henrik, who go to a cabin in the woods for like a hunting weekend. And while they're there, they hunt, they drink, they kind of learn more about each other, and then eventually they start hunting some very, very dangerous game. Do they survive this? Do they kind of bag their prize? Well, you have to watch the movie to find out. So, things I liked about this movie. The first, I love the practical effects. And some of it wasn't actually practical effects. I talked to the director, and some of the animals, there was a deer specifically that they actually did shoot. They had hunters. It was all kind of within permits. They did everything correctly. They actually shot the deer for some of the scenes, but they look great. Like the game looks great. There aren't a ton of effects in this, but the animal effects especially look really, really good. They look legit. They look definitely like what you would expect a hunted animal to look like. So it definitely adds an air of realism to this overall movie. The second thing I love the humor. It is pretty funny at times. It's not like laugh out loud funny, but there is kind of like a machismo, masculine humor that kind of permeates this film. You've got three guys out in the wilderness on a hunting trip. Some of the like masculine, like I don't know, like cockfighting kind of leaks in as you are watching this movie, and it can lead to some very funny scenes. The third thing I liked, it's strange. Like it's a strange film. The film goes down some rabbit holes. Some of this maybe is Swedish culture. Some of it is just kind of like this film being a little bit weird. But hey, look, I like a weird film, and this film definitely has it. And the fourth thing I love, this the setting. It is gorgeous. It is in the woods. You have these beautiful kind of like endless woods around. The shots are beautiful. There are some very kind of artistic looking shots that give you the beauty of nature. It is definitely something that you are going to enjoy if you like the outdoors. And the last thing I loved, the sound. It is very, very good. From the sounds of nature to the gunshots, which kind of like ring out when they actually happen, to some of the background music, everything helps you like kind of fall into this hunting world that has been created. All that being said, things I didn't love as much. The first, this was very minor. There was some CG. Just I think there was like a seagull scene where someone was like dreaming of a seagull, and it's clearly a CG seagull comes in. It doesn't look terrible, but it is noticeable, especially given that most of the other effects seem to be on the practical side. The second thing I didn't love, it is slow. It has a very slow pace, not a ton of suspense. Like this is a hunting weekend. There are a lot of like long hunting sessions, a lot of like extended scenes in this film. It feels like this movie kind of went on a little bit too long. It could have been compacted down a little bit, and so I wish it was just a little bit shorter. And the third thing I didn't love as much, it's really not that tense, actually. Surprisingly, for a film that deals with the subject matter, I would have expected a lot more tension. It's not. There, most of the stuff is fairly projected, so you kind of know what's going to happen. I wish there was a little bit more tension in this movie to really kind of ratchet it up when you're wondering what's going to happen next. So that is Hunters on a White Field. Like I said, I think you should watch later. I liked it a lot. I think you should watch it eventually, but maybe wait for it to come to streaming or on demand. But if you do check it out, let me know what you think. Let me know you liked and didn't like. I would love to hear it. And I'm going to go into the ending right now. So if you don't know what happens in this movie, I would turn it off now because there will be spoilers. So in Hunters on a White Field, you have Alex and Gregor. I believe Gregor is Alex's boss, and they are going out to this cabin owned by Henrik for the weekend to go hunting, to kind of be in nature, do what I guess guys do out in the wilderness. And Alex is a little bit more inexperienced. He hasn't hunted before. He's apparently a skeet shooter, so he is good with a gun, but he hasn't hunted before. So he is going out with his boss for this interesting hunting weekend. So they go out for this weekend and they start, it slowly builds. They start with ducks. They go out and they hunt some ducks. They get some ducks. There are some really great effects with the ducks. They look very realistic. And You find out a little bit more about Henrik and what is going on. He, I guess, owns this cabin with his brother. I guess it's maybe a family cabin, but there is some rage here because his brother's wife is like forcing him to sell. So this, I think, is the last weekend that he can do this trip. So he is a little bit mixed here. He loves it out here, clearly. He loves hunting, but I think he's a little bit angry that he's not going to get this experience again. So some of that permeates this movie as well. He is clearly angry at his brother's wife. At one point, he is target practicing, and her picture is up there. So there's definitely some rage in this. So after their duck hunting time, they then move on to deer. And the first day, Gregor kills a deer. The second day, Alex kills a deer, and he is horrified. He seems to be horrified by like all the hunting. When he killed a duck, he seemed very upset about this. When he shot the deer, he also seemed upset. He like it was dead. He kind of laid down after and just like cried next to it. It feels like he is not doing a great job with hunting. He's also his insides are all messed up. I'm not sure if that was from the stress from hunting or if that was from the very gamey food he was eating. They were eating what they killed. So Alex does not seem to be loving this. But after these two kills, the only person who hasn't bagged a deer is Henrik. So they go out the next day, and Henrik is going all out. He wants that deer. He wants that kill. And so he is using tactics that he shouldn't be. He's using like deer calls to get the deer out, which apparently is banned. But he does finally get a deer. He shoots it, but he wounds it. It takes off, and this is why you want to shoot to kill, because if you shoot to wound an animal, it goes off into the woods. You have to follow it. You want to make sure to put it out its suffering. So they have to track this deer down at night. It's night. It's windy. They're tracking the blood. They finally get to the deer. And while they're there, Gregor and Henrik are just kind of like watching the deer. And Alex is like, it's suffering. What are you doing? And they're like Henrik is getting ready to shoot it and then doesn't. You can't tell what is going on with him. I mean, he's like waiting for the time to be right. But Alex, seeing the suffering animal, goes ahead and shoots it. And that is a big no-no in this hunting circle. The person who wounds the deer gets the honor of killing it. When Alex does that, he kind of ruffles some feathers, and both Henrik and Gregor say, like, you're on your own now. And Alex has to then carry this deer carcass all the way back to the cabin. So Henrik is already feeling frustrated, and he didn't get that like sense of kill. So the next day they go hunting again, and it seems like all the game has disappeared. For some reason, they don't see anything, like nothing. And Henrik seems to be very upset by this. He like starts yelling for animals. He starts shooting in random directions. He just seems to be kind of like unhinged. So that night, Henrik tells a story about how back in the days there were secret hunting parties who hunted each other. And then he starts, pointing around the room with a flashlight and say, I guess we have to hunt each other instead. And Alex says, I'm in. I'm like, Alex, why? Like, you did not like hunting. Why would you say you're in? That seems very weird. That seems like a very big churn. Maybe he just wants to like be part of the group. I'm not sure why he said that, but he said he's in. So from this, they decide on this new set of rules, this very bad decision. I guess maybe this is kind of the culmination of their like machismo weekend. They're trying to like get back to nature, get the kill, feel stronger. And this is kind of the culmination of all of that. They start to hunt each other. Now they have rules. It's not just pure crazy. It's not Lord of the Flies, but their rules are they each get 5 bullets. They go out into the woods. They go in different directions. And when everyone is ready, they fire their gun in the air. So you have to get 3 shots to make sure everyone's ready. And then they hunt each other. Seems very dangerous. So the first morning is very tense. Alex actually gets a shot on Gregor, but he misses. And you can see how scared they are because when they call off for the morning, I think Henrik blows a whistle and Alex is still like set up, ready to shoot. And Henrik like sneaks up behind him and blows the whistle again. That's when Alex like snaps out of it and is like, oh no, I'm done. And then he clears his chamber, all that stuff. They have lunch. And then they go to the afternoon hunting session. And we focus mostly on Alex for this. He is, very nervous. He's hiding. And eventually we hear a shot. And we go to check out, and it looks like Gregor was shot. Henrik shot Gregor, but he shot him in the shoulder. So painful, not great, but not a killing blow. So now that one of them is shot, one of them has been shot, Henrik says, okay, we should stop. Like that was fun, but we should stop. And Gregor is like, no. He says, if we stop now, it's all for naught. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, this feels like a good reason. You got shot. Everyone survived. You had this crazy experience. Feels like a good time to stop. But Gregor says no. He says, didn't you feel it today? Didn't you feel the fear? Have you ever felt so alive? Don't wuss out now. I'm like, I don't think that's the right call, Gregor. I don't think that's right. But Henrik has the right idea, the crazy one. Henrik has been crazy the entire time. He is finally logical. He's like, it could have been much worse, but Gregor will have none of it. They bandage up Gregor and they go home. So the next day is the last day. They are ready to go. I guess they're going to hunt for a half an hour and see what happens. So Alex and Henrik are there, and Gregor comes out too with a bandaged shoulder. And Henrik's like, no, you shouldn't do this. But Gregor's like, I'm going to do this. So during this, you have some tense moments. Eventually, Henrik and Alex see each other. They stand off. Henrik gets behind a tree. Alex goes to the ground. They don't shoot. But then when Alex is on the ground, you hear a shot goes off. Alex looks up and Henrik is shot. Henrik is shot. Gregor is doing CPR on him. I guess Henrik was the one that wanted to stop. They kept going and now he is dead. Now Gregor lays down next to him like they did with the deer after they killed their deer. He lays down next to him, I guess showing some respect for the kill. And Gregor then says we have to keep going. He wants to finish the game. I'm like, what? Like someone's already dead. Like, why would you continue going? But they do. So they take Henrik back and they're gonna go one more time. Now it has gotten very cold. That's probably why it's hunters on a white field. It's snowing, there's snow on the ground. Some of the animals, there's some frogs nearby that are frozen. There's a weird scene where like Gregor finds this frog that they knew called Arnold and like warms it in his mouth. I guess the frog was like frozen solid. Odd scene, I guess. I'm not sure why he did that, but I guess Arnold is still alive. Arnold also was like one that Henrik really liked. So maybe he's doing that as like a show of compassion to his friend who he killed. Now, the next day, they both go out. It is Gregor versus Alex. They are out there. They eventually find each other. They both take aim. I think they both shoot and they both miss. Now, Gregor is trying to reload, and Alex reloads quicker, gets up, and boom, shoots Gregor like right, assuming the head, his aim was the head. The head didn't explode. Maybe that's not how it actually happens in real life. But in any event, Gregor goes down. Alex is the winner. Yay! You killed your friends. So Alex wins. He takes Gregor back. He takes him back to the cabin, and then knowing he has to do something, right? Eventually someone will come here. He digs to hide, to like bury the bodies. Maybe it's reverence. Maybe he's worried about someone finding all these dead bodies in a cabin. Perhaps like maybe Henrik's brother. So he digs and digs and digs. I think part of this is also to hide like what he did, like the rabbit hole he went down in. So he digs a like 10-foot hole, which I mean, like that takes a lot of effort, especially on a cold day, especially with like frozen ground. Alex dug and dug and dug. He gets this thing ready. And then I think he realizes maybe he made a mistake because he doesn't know how to get out there. He's like at the bottom of this hole. He tries to climb up. He doesn't get a good grip. He does one climb where he gets all the way to the top, grabs like a chunk of the grass up at the top, and it just collapses and he falls down. So he's at the bottom of this hole. He's looking around trying to figure out what to do. And then he hears some deer sounds behind him. He turns around and looks, and that's it. That's the movie. That is Hunters on a Whitefield. Like I said, I think you should watch later. I liked a lot about it. It is a beautiful film. It is well shot. It has some really fun characters, and I love the actors in it. But the story, didn't do it enough for me. It was a little bit slow. It had this weird kind of like dangerous game thing at the end, which was kind of the point, but it also felt strange that they would do this. I don't know. I felt like there needed to be a better reason for it other than, I guess, pure machismo. But anyway, it is a well-made film. It is a gorgeous film. So I definitely think you should watch it. Maybe just wait for it to come to streaming or on demand. So again, that is Hunters on the Whitefield. It's premiering at Tribeca on June 6, 2024. If you do check it out, let me know what you think. Let me know what you liked and didn't like. I would love to hear it. And thanks so much for watching. If you like this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you. It is a Swedish film from director Sarah Gienst. It is a Swedish film. Yeah. It is a Swedish film from direct. It is a Swedish film from director Sarah Gyllenstierna. It is a Swedish film from director Gyllenstierna. It is a Swedish film from director Sarah Gyllenstierna where three.